Hey guys, welcome back to Culinary Medicine. I'm Amy, and today I'm going to talk to you about fermented foods. So what is all the fermented fuss about? Well, before I start telling you about fermented foods, we need to talk a little bit about gut health. Our gut health influences our brain health, our immune system, our allergies and allergic reactions, our skin health, appetite, and metabolism. Our digestive system is one of our first line of defenses. Just like our skin is a barrier to the outside world, our gut is a barrier to the outside world because what we take in our mouths from outside is exposed to the lining throughout our digestive system. So if our gut health is compromised, then whatever we're putting in, the things that are supposed to be in, like the food particles or undigested foods and even worse, toxins, can get out of the gut. And when that happens, the first place that they go is to our liver. And our liver is the powerhouse of metabolism. It's where it all happens. Not only that, but 70% of our immune system resides in our gut as well. So the gut can be the source of inflammation in addition to metabolic disorders. So what is it about fermented foods that's so beneficial? Well, they contain bacteria. And before we get into fermented foods so much, let's talk about the gut bacteria that we have in our gut. So it's estimated there's 1 billion to 100 billion bacteria in each gram of contents of our gut. So what does this mean? Well, I weighed out 2 grams of turmeric powder. My kitchen scale would not weigh out 1 gram. It wouldn't get a reading until there's 2 grams. So that, if you can see that, is 2 grams of turmeric powder. So half of that per gram of contents in our gut, there's estimated to be 1 to 100 billion bacteria. To put that into perspective, if you had 1 billion seconds, you would have approximately 3,200 years, right? So that's just per gram. That's how much bacteria. It's estimated that we have about 4.5 pounds of bacteria in our gut. So to put that into perspective, I have this bowl and I'm going to put it on my scale and weigh out about 4.5 pounds. So let me tear the scale. Okay. Use a squash. There we are. That's 2, almost 3 pounds. Let's just try to use vegetables. What I have here. Okay, getting closer. Let's try a smaller potato. Yep, perfect. So 4.5 pounds. 4.5 pounds of bacteria resides in our gut. This is 4.5 pounds. Let's see what I have in here. I have this onion. I have 3 onions. An acorn squash. A potato. And some ginger root. All of this comes to about 4.5 pounds. And 4.5 pounds is how much bacteria resides in our guts. And each gram, remember this is 2 grams, contains anywhere from 1 to 100 billion bacteria. So what are we doing with all this bacteria in our guts? Well, we have a mutualistic symbiotic relationship. What that means is we feed the bacteria and the bacteria does some beneficial things for us. It's been known to be involved in processing vitamins, converting food into vitamins, making neurotransmitters. That's only a little bit of what the bacteria does for us. Traditionally, fermented foods have been being consumed for centuries. And finally, in the late 1800s, early 1900s, the Russian microbiologist Elie Mechnikov, he believed that the lactic ferments would combat the negative side effects of the bad bacteria. And in 1908, he was awarded the Nobel Prize for his discovery of the probiotics found in yogurt. So you ask me, Amy, what is all this fermented fuss about? Well, here's what you need to know about fermented foods. They contain beneficial bacteria that can help seed the bacteria in our stomach to replenish the beneficial bacteria when we get out of balance. They can make foods easier to digest by pre-digesting the foods. For instance, yogurt is more easily digested than milk for many people. Just like a fermented sauerkraut is more easily digested than raw cabbage. When you're buying fermented foods, you want to look for a label that says live and active cultures, because the foods that you buy in a store are required to be pasteurized, and that means treated with high heat, which kills off the beneficial bacteria. So many foods that you'll find in health food stores will be re-inoculated and seeded with the bacteria after pasteurization. The best way to ensure that you are getting the beneficial bacteria is to learn to ferment yourself, which we are in the process of creating a library of different recipes for you to learn to do that. Check out the easy beet recipe that I did last week to show you how easy it is to ferment. So if you are buying your fermented vegetables or foods in a grocery store, check the label and make sure that it says lacto-fermented, which means it was fermented with a salt and not a vinegar ferment. You want to find these fermented products in the refrigerated section because the beneficial bacteria require refrigeration, whereas the vinegar ferments that you find, you'll find those on the shelves of the grocery store. Another thing you want to look for is a cloudiness. So, for instance, here are some tomatoes that I did in basil and garlic. And I don't know if you can see this, like, yeah, there is right there some cloudiness in the bottom of this jar. Again, you can see it a little bit better in these red onions I did. There is a lot of, because I seeded this one, and seeding means I use some bacteria from a previous ferment to get this one going really good. And this is a lemon ginger red onion, and it is to die for. So another thing that you can seed your, if you're making ferments at home, is if you have milk kefir, or bought some kefir in a store, I have strained the whey here using this single cup coffee filter to make a cup of coffee. Only I used a coffee filter, poured the kefir in, and the whey strains out. So I will be using that to ferment in the future. Another thing that you can look for in the grocery store is look at the ingredients list. You want to see that the ingredients is salt and not vinegar, because the lacto fermentation process requires salt, and salt keeps the environment so that the lactobacteria is the only one that can survive in there. Again, to learn to ferment, look at our videos that we are collecting. I'm making and putting these out. I love to ferment, so I'll be doing more on vegetable ferments and milk kefir in the near future. I already have up a beet ferment recipe and a pepper recipe that I think you'll enjoy. If you have any questions or want to learn about anything else, please comment below. And if you haven't yet, like and subscribe to this video so you can get updates. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me today. If you have any other questions about fermented foods, don't hesitate, reach out to me, or better yet, comment in the thread. So again, if you have a question, somebody else has a question, and then I can answer the question so everyone sees, Thank you and have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.